And you're welcome back from the break. Thanks for staying with us here on the Morning Rush. We've gotten into the final part of the show and we get to talk. And this morning we're talking about data protection. Yes, very important topic. And joining me on set this morning is, no stranger to the show, our very own DK Cyber. So because of that, you don't know his real name, but DK Cyber has joined me this morning for this conversation. DK, good morning and welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. Yourself?
I'm excited. January is finally.
Yeah, I think 91 days finally.
It's over. so data protection.
Yeah.
I'll just take it as protection of your data.
Yeah. So basically, we're looking at how we protect the data. So we are looking at the policies, the protections, the tools, the strategies, and the process that we need to have to secure our data. And someone will ask me, what is data? What are we talking about data? So when we say data, I define it from the internet street as any information about a living being.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking about your personal name, talking about your pictures, your info. So we can have your financial details, every information that one can use to, say that is the person. Right, so your name, your personal IDs, everything, right? So those are what we are looking at, the data. So this one, we are looking at the data on the information superhighway, how well we can protect it as individual and also as a state. I think May 2012, they established the Data Protection Commission under with the Act 843, and where now we call the data controllers are being regulated so that their activities might not, trigger or might not affect others. So we are looking at how well we can protect the data. And now we have a commission that is regulating that, and they have almost about 8 principles. They have 8 principles and how they can safeguard the data. And you could know that now data is being collected around, the financial institutions are collecting our data, your education is collecting your data, government is collecting your data, the security agencies are collecting our data, individuals, corporate organizations are collecting our data.
People in your area are collecting your data.
Yeah, so sometimes it might not be so much strange to you to see that you will be there and you will receive message from some places, and I just want to decode this from the very low ground. I don't want to be out there. I want to come down. My example is I was there, and I don't know my constituency. I'm not that political type, but one way or the other, my MP was able to reach out to me to send me a message this new year. So I was asking myself, where could this data be coming from? Because I didn't give my data to any political party, by the way. So is it from the financial aspect, where like creating an account with a bank? When I'm creating an account with the bank, I give them my location, even draw a close landmark to my house. So I'm thinking, is it coming from there, or possibly is it coming from the government, whereby I give out to the Ghana card and other stuff? So we are looking at how safe are we. See, the point here this morning, Senior, is that it's not even about these small ones. Today we are looking at something called cyber warfare. Cyber warfare, where countries, states are rising against state in the cyberspace, fighting against themselves on the cyberspace. And we have something we call, some of the states like the United States, the Russians have something called the cyber army, where they protect themselves. Now, when they have data, data is power. Data is power, because see, if they are able to capture, just imagine if they're able to capture our data. Yeah. They could do a lot. So I'm looking at, how my data could be given out easily to third parties to reach out to me. And then there's a bit of worry here.
Yeah. Of course, it is that you have such a thing going on. But in your, as we speak to people, do we even understand what this is? I mean, do people realize that this thing that they do?
Yeah.
It's not helpful.
Yeah. So that is why the state stepped in. And they set out the Data Protection Commission, and they are set to regulate any controller or people who process data. So we are talking about institutions, organizations that collect data. They should be regulated. how do they collect the data, the processes of collecting the data, how they could safeguard those data, right? So if you collect people data, then you need to be regulated from the Data Protection Commission, right? And I believe they are doing a very great job. So looking at Saturday, Sunday was a day of Data Protection Day, where we're speaking to people how important our data are, how we don't need to give out so much data. I can sit here, or you can give me 2 hours, and the data I could harvest for you, it will blow your mind, because people are not much careful about where they put their data, right? So I can just say, okay, I'm opening up, I'm giving out employment. I can just clone some company to say, okay, let's say Metro TV is giving out employment, right? And you could see the number of people who apply, and through that, I could harvest as much as data I want. I could get your some of that. I can say, okay, I'll pay you through your bank. Provide me your bank details, bank account, your number, your location. Yes, because I want to know where you're coming from to work with me. So you see how easy these people collect data. So that's why we are saying that any organization, we call them data controllers, data processors. Those should be regulated, and that is why the Data Protection Commission is there. And they were set around 2012, so they've been working so hard, and they established that under the Act of 843, right? So we need to opt to go through such processes. So if you process data, you collect people's data, then you need to be regulated yourself. And also, we are mostly as the consumer, or we the individuals at our side, in the sense that we need to understand, we need to know how important our data are. Some people think that, oh, well, it's just my name, my telephone number, it's just my bank account, what else? Nothing else. So they intend to put our data anywhere. Any pop-up they see on their social platforms, their devices, they intend to give out those data. So we need to protect our data. So you yourself need to protect your data, and the state wisely to need to protect our data. I keep asking myself, where are all those data saved? How strong, how secure are those data? Like, or are those servers? So if it's like a bank, you're collecting people's data. Like, how secure is the server? What kind of mechanism to protect them? Which kind of encryption are you using? Are the data being stored in a plain text, or they are encrypted? All those things are things that we need to really find out. And I believe that if you go through the registration at the Data Protection Commission side, they make sure that they have a standard principle they follow, right? That is the data protection standard from the European Union. So they follow, so it's almost about 8 principles that you go through.
Okay, so we cannot say that when we are getting into a certain system, we will not give out our details, right? You go to the bank, they'll need your details for these things. If you're applying for a job, they'll need your details. So for us, we will not really have any control over that, right? But how would we also know that what we're putting out there is safe, and that we wouldn't have any intrusion, with respect to our details?
So it's very, very important for you to visit the data. You go online to say Ghana Data Protection Commission, and all the organizations that are regulated, I believe they have their companies there. You could see. So if a company is collecting your data and they are not regulated, that means that it's kind of worry here. You should know that, oh, these people are collecting the data based on their own self, right? Or for their own self. So if you are much concerned about your privacy, then I believe that you can chance on their website. Just go online and search for the Ghana Data Protection Commission. They have a website. You could see all the companies that are regulated under them, right? And aside that, we should be very careful whilst we give out our personal info, our data, to any other data controller or any other people who are getting your data or requesting for your data. There are some things that we should be looking out for, right? There are some things that we should be looking out for. Who are these people? How well do you know them, right? So if it's a bank, you know that, oh, there's a financial institutions, they are registered, definitely they might be regulated, right? But if it's just an online platform that someone is said, okay, I'm giving out something, so provide this data. You should know to the extent data you could give them, right? So your name you can give out, but you should make sure, or you should be very careful, the data you are giving to such people, the data you're giving to such people. It's very, very
so
important.
is it that when you have a very long name, you shouldn't give all, or what?
So I do say that, you know, we live on this informative superhighway where you could have a virtual life, as in to say you have, maybe I have my personal email I use that represents me. So I have another email, though my name is there, and maybe I have a telephone number, I have a private number, I have one I use on the social platform. So if a company is collecting data online, I could give them those ones. And that one, it's my social email and yeah, those things. So I just give it to them like that, right? And some of the questions people do ask is, DK Cyber, how possible are we being contacted by this lottery or companies?
I mean, I'm just going through my SMS folder now.
Yeah, so you go through and you see a lot of companies targeting you with marketing styles, with personal styles, and you ask yourself,
how did they get my contact?
Get your contact? So that the point here is that I think from the basics we had it. We are now correcting things, and I believe that technology came to meet us on the way. So there are so many things that I believe that we are now picking up. Ideally, we should have like a data center where even all the banks could just with my number or my name can just pull up every information. This morning, if you could bear with me, the data, the education service, the GS is collecting about me might be different from what the birth and death registry is collecting about me. Might be different from what the bank, the institution is collecting about me. Might be different from what the state is also collecting about me. Because some people, you go here, oh, okay, my name is David. I have a middle name. Here I provide it. Here I don't provide it.
Yeah.
That makes me different. I might be David Jedu, but there's an initial name there. So if you don't add that in the middle name, it's not me.
True.
You understand? So maybe one of the data controllers I have given out David Jedu, others will have given out David and the middle name Jedu, right? So that becomes two people. And even their date of birth, you could see people struggling. You go to maybe their education side, their date of birth is different. You go here, their date of birth is different. So I believe that the whole idea of the Ghana card was sought to solve
this issue,
so that at least we have one data that most of those organizations can just go into it and get the data. Because you see, if every institution is collecting data, even the person or the individual or the user sometimes make mistakes because sometimes the data entry sometimes mistakes because all those things are being controlled by those data guys. People are doing data entry. Mistakes can come from the security side, mistake can come from the GS side, or mistake can come from the finance side, right? So the point here is that I believe that the Ghana card, we need to really up on it so that at least that becomes kind of medium. And I believe that they are championing it now. Even the bank sectors are really championing it. Now most of even if you are doing online, genuine online authentication, like doing a transaction, they need a card, and such card is now not the the voter's ID, but now the Ghana card. So I believe that all those ones are in the right direction to curb these issues, right? Okay,
great discussion there and great insight on that. So we need to get to the Data Protection Authority, right?
Yeah.
The website.
Yeah. So if a company is collecting your data, I'm saying that now the state has set up Data Protection Commission. Commission. Okay. So they are regulating those controllers, those data processors, right? So they make sure that they go through some kind of principles, procedures to make sure that you're giving out your data to such company, it's secure, right? So to me, what I would do is I go on their website to check the companies under them. So if any of companies are collecting my data, I make sure that, they are regulated. If they are regulated, I know that, the state hand is in it and they know the right thing to do. So that tomorrow I wouldn't be there and someone will contact me from lottery something that I'm winning.
I just said you there, and just try to like you say it all the time, fishing.
Yeah, fishing and the smashing.
Just try to get your interest, and boom, they get you on there. So guys, let's just take keen interest in that. Like, I know a lot of Ghanaians, we do not, look at some of these things, and it's a very serious thing that we need to look at. So please, just make sure that you protect yourself, your data. It is very, very important. So, DK Cyber, thank you for coming today. Thank you for the education. Yeah. Definitely, we'll see you some other time in February. in February.
We are done with January, right?
We are done with January.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
yeah.
Dike Simon, for coming.